Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot1025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
No limit to the limit. Welcome to Marriage Bootcamp. No limit to the limit with Robert and Vicky Bell. I thought I told you. No limit to the limit, for better or for worse. No limit to the limit, for richer or poor. No limit to the limit in sickness and health. I thought I told you to love and cherish until death do you part. 1 + 1 =
1.
2 is bigger, but it's
Still 1.
1 1,000, but 2
10,000.
Team Bell, Rob and Vicky Bell, Hot 702.5.
We out. Welcome to Marriage Bootcamp with Vicky and Robert Bell on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Marriage Bootcamp with the Bells. Hope everybody's doing good this morning here at Hot 702.5 Risky Radio. I want to give a shout out to this beautiful new facility that we in. I forgot to mention it last week. Kudos to the owners, E. Carice and her husband. They doing big things here in Vegas. Look at this new beautiful facility that we in. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all doing big things. You know, people are doing things. People are doing things in Vegas. I appreciate y'all allowing us to be a part of this great journey that you guys are on. Allowing us to be a part of this great journey that you guys are on. May you continue to be blessed. May you continue to prosper. May you continue to keep your head up. May you guys continue to keep moving forward. Whatever you do, don't look back. Whatever you guys do, don't stop. Whatever y'all do, don't quit. Here at Hot 702.5 Risky Radio. You know, as we're saying, I'm going to jump right into it because even now, another week don't pass us by. Even now, it gets crazier and crazy and crazy. Put on your seatbelt, buckle up. We only down to 60-something days. I don't even think we got 60-something days. 40-something days, I think, till the new year. And it's getting crazier and crazier. Let me go left here for a minute. Let me go left here. You know how crazy it's getting? I was looking at the news, and Marjorie Green, whatever the senator, Republican senator, congresswoman, whatever she is, Marjorie Taylor Greene, #1 Trump's MAGA supporter for the last 6 years. For the last 6 years. Did you tell Kirk I was with you? Or you was with me? Now he calling me. 43 days left in this. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene has went from, she said she was Trump's MAGA #1 supporter. And and this week, he called her a traitor. Y'all, we in trouble. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a traitor now. And you know who's a patriot? He called Marjorie Taylor Greene a patriot, and Nicki Minaj is a patriot. Boy, we are in some times like never before. Marjorie Taylor Greene went from his #1 supporter for the last 6 years, standing on the Senate floor, booing everything the Democrats said, stood up against every movement the Democrats had, stood beside Trump every step of the way. And now she's a traitor. And Nicki Minaj was on a big stage yesterday talking about thanking Trump. He called her a patriot. Y'all better Google patriot. Don't take it lightly when y'all hear the word patriot. That's a what they call that? A dog whistle. When they say patriot, now she's a patriot. She is on this I think the UN floor, somewhere, the UN floor. And she talked about, she wanted to thank Trump. And she's talking about, I'm not taking any sides. It's not about any particular party. But I do want to thank Trump for protecting. Here goes the carrot, y'all. Here goes the bamboozle, for helping the Christians in Nigeria. As if Trump is concerned about Christians in Nigeria. Unless he's talking about those same Christians, those South African Christians, those same South African Christians, maybe those same South African farmers that they're killing. Maybe those the Christians he's talking about. But see, I told you, anytime you put that carrot out there and say Christian and say God and all of that, you're gonna get bamboo. It's always gonna be a bait and switch. Just that quick. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a traitor and Nicki Minaj is a patriot. Y'all, I said last week, I feel good. My heart ain't doing 1,000 miles an hour. My mind ain't doing 1,000 miles. I said last week, see, when you come to live radio, I'm taking my time. I'm thinking. I just wanted to say how I want to put this. By the way, Lady Bell is in the building, and my mind be going left. See, that's why. I know I can say nonsense. Said Lady Bell is in the building. Thank you for joining me in the building, Lady Bell, because. Man, my mind is going blank. We're going to hit replay or something, rewind or something here. Help me, Lady Bell. Oh, okay. I just jump into what you told me earlier. So we was talking about, the food crisis last week. You see how quiet that it don't got the food crisis. 2 weeks ago, we was in a panic of feeding food insecurity, feeding people and getting food in the hands of people. I told y'all, Lady Bell wanted me to hit rewind on this, that food is low fruit. Trust me, it's more than enough food out there to feed everybody. It's more than enough to feed. Food is low fruit. And like I said, if the church should have a storehouse, and it should always be food on hand, not in case of emergency, but the church should always have something for the people of their congregation, the people in the neighborhood. We shouldn't have to be going to the food banks, the county food bank, the government food banks. The church shouldn't have to do that because food is low fruit. And Lady Bell told me to mention, because we talked about getting food to people, the urgency why the Democrats signed the bill or passed the bill to open the government back up. The main concern was health care. So now we got a major health care crisis. And Lady Bell was mentioned to me, remember back in the days when it was free clinics? And I don't know if it's free clinics now, but back in the day, it was always in Cleveland. You always saw it on TV. If you have any problem, come on down to Cleveland Free Clinic right there. What was that free clinic? I had a story about the free clinic, when I was a teenager, but I ain't going to tell that story. I wish you was here with me, Lady Bell, because I would feel more free to tell it if you was live with me. I don't want people to think I'm going left just because you ain't here with me. But I ain't gonna tell them about my teenage free clinic visit. But so, like I said, food is low fruit. What a church, what are we going to do when we get into this healthcare crisis, when we get into this medical care crisis? See, the church should, the church should be the foundation. The church should be the pinnacle of whatever the people need. You should have, I don't know if any church, all the churches that we is involved in Cleveland, I have not ever seen a program where maybe, look, twice a week we're gonna call all the doctors in the congregation. We're gonna call all the nurses in the congregation, and 2 or 3 times a month we're gonna have a health. Help me, Lady Bill. We're gonna have like a free clinic here at the church. We're gonna need the doctors to volunteer their time. We're gonna need the nurses to volunteer their time. Anybody in the medical field, look, we want to be able to provide for the community. Food is low fruit. So we're gonna need church. We got 43 days into 2026. We getting ready to have a health care crisis. January 31st, the government extension, the government funded extension ends January 31st. So that's where I was getting the 70-something days from. You got 70-something days until the extension is over. We got 43 days until the new year. We're heading into a healthcare crisis. I already got friends now that have medical insurance, but they don't want to go to the doctor because the out-of-pocket costs. The out-of-pocket costs. Healthcare is care. I can tell them this story, Lady Bell. Me and Lady Bell, when we got married, single mother with 2 kids on her healthcare plan. Me, single father with my 2 kids on my healthcare plan. We get married. My healthcare plan was better, so everybody went on my healthcare plan. Then I get laid off. So now we got to go on Vicky's healthcare plan. But Vicky's healthcare plan was probably twice as much as mine. Probably twice. But this is the killer part. See, this to show you about healthcare. So for Lady Bell to go on her healthcare plan with the kids, I think it says employee independence, it was like $300, something like that, for employee independence. But then when you add employee spouse independent, it jumped from like $300 to $500. Now we talking, that was like 1998. So, I was still young and vibrant and never been in the hospital all my life. I said, Lady Bell, look, I'm going to find another job. We not going, you just go on, as long as you and the kids is covered, I'll be fine. But Lady Bell, being stubborn and being as intelligent as she is, she put me on the medical plan anyways. I'm telling y'all, not even 2 weeks later, Lady Bell, 2 weeks later, here I was being rushed to emergency. Never been in a hospital in my life. Never been in an ambulance all my life. Here it was 2 weeks later after I lost my medical insurance and we had to go on hers. Not 2 weeks later, here I am being rushed to the hospital. And I ended up, 3-4 days in the hospital? End up spending 4 days in the hospital. Now, what if she would have been stubborn like me, or were trying to be cheap like me, trying to save a couple $100 a month? And I remember as those bills, started coming into the house, when they come to, they says this is not a bill, but they still show you the charges. I remember that charge in the ambulance was $1,800. $1,800 for a 5-minute ride. And let me tell you, this is how they got us. Because Vicky took me to urgent care. She took me to urgent care. And just like y'all seen the other day about, about the lady that was pregnant and she went in there and they treated her so bad. Hey, matter of fact, I tell you when this was. This was when I got rushed to emergency. It was election night. Was that 2008? The first time President Obama ran and won? It was 2008 election night. And here I am. Hey, something that happened to me, and I'm laying on the floor in the house, and my daughter just happened to walk by the bedroom and saw me laying on the floor. Because I'm always clowning. She thought I was clowning. I was like, no, go get Vicky. She rushed me to the ER, to the urgent care. And then the urgent care was like, oh, no, you're going to need surgery. We got to get you to the hospital ASAP. But when I walked into the urgent care, was I laying on the floor, Vicky? I was laying on the floor. And the lady was pretty much like, oh, get up. And Vicky, because I pretty much crawled in there, and Vicky was parked in the car. By the time Vicky got in there, I was like, get me to the car, Vicky. We leaving. This is true story. Listen how crazy this got. Now, hey, this is election night, and in the emergency room, waiting in the emergency waiting room, while I'm laying there on the floor, and Vicky come in, I'm like, Vicky, get me up. And so she gets me up in a wheelchair, and I'm like, no, take me to the car, because this lady talking about they full and they can't get me in. Then the doctor came out, and the doctor's like, what's the problem? I don't know, but it felt like, And you know what they did? You remember what they did that night, Vicky? They put me inside of the utility room where the toilet paper and paper towel, all the janitor's closet. That's where they put me. I was in there for about 30 minutes. Then they rolled me into a room. And then when Vicky came in, I said, Vicky, hey, now I'm still thinking, how's the election going? You know what Vicky said? I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know the election? She was like, no, they're looking at Everybody Loves Raymond. This is crazy. So this is with medical insurance. This is how they treated me. So then the doctor said, no, we got to do emergency surgery on you and all of this. And I was still thinking about the bill then. I was like, okay, we're going to send you to the hospital. Okay, that's right up the street. She can take me. Oh, no, we got to get you there in a rush. Because we're going to take you straight to the surgery room. They took me there. And it was still, a day and a half before they did surgery on me. I told Vicky, they just want to get that. They just want to run that bill up with that doggone ambulance taking me. So the importance of, and like I said, I got friends today who have medical insurance that still don't want to go because of the percentage of what they still might have to pay. Church, food is low fruit. Food is very low fruit. We didn't see 2020 coming. We didn't see this shutdown coming here at the end of 2025. Will we be prepared for what's coming in 2026? We relying on the church too much. They did. Did y'all see this where they was calling the church and asking for baby food and they said no? So they always say that the internet don't lose. Now they was doing a little thing this week on TikTok where the parents was going to their children, they little 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids. Hey son, my friend baby don't have any milk and I don't have any money on me. I know you got $20 in your piggy bank. Can I get some of that to buy the baby some milk? Of course you can. Of course you can. When you call the church, it should be somebody on staff that can be on staff that can answer something immediately. It shouldn't be a runaround. A church should always have a benevolent fund. It should always be some petty cash somewhere. Well, you can't trust everybody. Well, can you trust the church? If you tell us to pay our tithes and offering and trust that that church is going to do right by it, when somebody calls you for help, trust that you got to trust that they're going to do right by it. And just like every church ain't doing right by it, everybody that wants some help might not do right by it. But that's not your you that ain't your concern if they doing right about it. Long as you know you did the right thing. We was on vacation one time and the man stand out with a street sign. You know, everybody had these street signs. The man said, his sign said, "Why lie? I'm going to buy some beer." And so I gave the man some money. My daughter was probably about 5 or 6 at the time. She said, "Daddy, he said he's going to buy beer." I said, "They're all going to buy beer. He's just telling the truth." So don't worry about what they do with it when you give it to them. Oh, everybody trying to scheme the church. Well, the church, don't be concerned about that church. We are in a serious crisis right now, and I'm throwing off on the church, but really, man of the house, father, husband, wife, father, husband, you have to be prepared. You must be prepared. You know, these movies now, it's a good one on Netflix. It's All Her Fault. All Her Fault. And the title, and you know, and you don't get it. If you got it, you don't get it until the end of it. All her fault. And in every situation, every family crisis that was going on, every situation that was going on, it seems like it was the woman's fault. And I'm pretty sure the title gives you that when you see stuff going on, oh, it's her fault. It's her fault. But by the end of, you know how these series go, how, you know, you get a good series that reverse everything on you. At the end of the series, nothing was her fault. You know, husband, you know, it's always going to be your fault. That's why you must have a plan now. You got 43 days to 2026. You must have a plan now. You must have a budget now, husband. Because even when it is her fault, it's your fault. Even when it is her fault, it's your fault. But like I said last week, you got to have a plan, because even with a plan, it's going to be some detours. It's going to be some chuck holes. It's going to be some redirections. It's going to be some U-turns. It's going to be some crashes. Even with a plan. But at least when you got a plan, I'm starting here instead of always going back to ground zero. You don't always want to go back to ground zero. You don't always want to. Is that Monopoly said? Man, what game is that? Is that Monopoly said go back to the start? The one game, go back to the start. Do you always want to go back to the start? Start over? Do you want to get that card to say go directly to jail? You got to have some type of plan. After I'm all excited about the Cleveland Browns in town this weekend. Cleveland takeover all weekend long, all of that. But I still got to be focused, because if something goes left, I don't want Lady Bell in my face talking about you've been turned up all weekend. You've been not focused all weekend. And you forgot to take care of this, and that. No, everything ain't gonna be perfect. Everything ain't gonna be right. But at least if you plan on it, she can only fuss so much. But if you ain't got no plan, you go to church every Sunday, and we've been learning that since Vacation Bible School. Have a plan, make it plain, write it down, have a vision. And we've been saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it and not doing nothing. That's why I say, when people say it's good to be alone, no, it ain't good to be alone. At least God said it's not good for man to be alone. I can't be alone. I need somebody. I need somebody to help me stay focused. I need somebody to help me to get. I need that girl to be a GPS in my life. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't think nobody really wants to be out here alone. But as we get closer to the end, you only got 40-something days left. You gotta have yourself a plan going in to 2026. I was talking about all her fault, and when it all boils down to it, none of it was her fault. Hey, I hear you fellas. It was her fault. It was her fault. Y'all know it, but you gonna have to take the L for it. It's gonna be your fault. hey, and then the crazy part about it, you know it was her fault, and you sitting up there like, and she don't convince you it was your fault, and you be like, 3 days later, you be like, man, was it my fault? Hey, don't be bamboozled. Don't be led astray. Don't be ran amok. All her fault. If y'all ain't seen that, check that out. All her fault. What was the other good one we watched last night? That was a good one. Oh, that was good. I forgot it that quick. Can't remember, Lady Bell? Oh, that's what I said, making a plan, because, I there's some notes from a couple of weeks ago. Because meanwhile, the definition of, like I was saying, having a good time, doing all that, whatever you like to do, whatever your vice is, whatever your turn up is. But meanwhile, the definition of meanwhile. Oh, the beast in me. Yeah, that's meanwhile, the definition of meanwhile, at the same time as something else is happening or doing the same time. Meantime, during the time before something else happens. I've been saying that all year. Meanwhile, while you having a good time, meanwhile, this is going on. While you're doing this, meanwhile, this is going on. That's why you have to be prepared now. I can't believe this. I'm running out of stuff to say. I got a whole 30 minutes. What'd you say, Lady Bell? Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. See, I was saying all that about the health care, because food is low fruit. And Lady Bell reminded me back in the day, Lady Bell been going to church since she was 3 years old, I think, maybe 2. Her grandmama took her to church. And back then, and back in them days, especially them Kojic churches or them institutional Baptist churches, had a credit union. Do any black churches have credit unions now? I think most of them are influenced by, big bank. But back then, churches had credit unions. When mom and them couldn't get credit nowhere else, they could go to the church credit union and get credit. Lady Bell told me to mention that. Free clinic, health care, a credit union. Because you really ain't trying to get caught up in no. Don't y'all fall for that. Don't y'all fall for that 50-year mortgage. Don't y'all fall for it. They got people buying 10 and 12-year car notes. 10 and 12-year car notes and 50-year mortgages. No, don't y'all fall for that 50-year mortgage. Please don't fall for that. And I know I hear, and I know, Lady Bell being a banker for many years, she would always say it's better to buy. It's better to buy than to rent. At least you building something, at least you establishing something. Lady Bell, they know you're here. I just need to ask you this. Would you recommend a 50-year mortgage? Okay, Lady Bell said no, she wouldn't recommend a 50-year mortgage. So
I wouldn't recommend it. You would pay for your house probably 3 times.
yeah. You figure 30-year mortgage. You figure $40,000 house, and you do it for 30 years. You probably don't pay about $700,000-800,000 on that house. In 50 years, you don't probably pay $1.4 million for that house. So yeah, don't do no 50-year mortgage, and don't do no 10-year car payment. That's even crazier. You paying on a car for 10 years. By the time you're done paying on it, you're gonna need a new one. Yeah, don't get no 10-year car note, and don't get no 50-year mortgage. You got something to say, Lady Bell? You look like you're looking up something. Somebody might need this because somebody might be contemplating on getting a 50-year mortgage. Oh, okay, yeah. Another key drawback on a 50-year mortgage is how little equity beyond the initial down payment is generated even in the first 20 years. So yeah, basically you ain't even chipping into the balance until after 20 years. Yeah, so that first 20 years ain't nothing but interest. Yeah, don't y'all do that. Please don't do that. But now, since I got all that out the way, Lady Bell, this podcast is about love and marriage and for better, for worse, richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. That's what this marriage is about. How do we survive the bad days? How do we celebrate the good days? How do 1 + 1 become 1? I'd be glad when you get back in here with me, Lady Bell, so we can stay focused. Even though you gotta know, and meanwhile you gotta know what's going on around you. You gotta know what's going on around. You can't be so much in love and bury yourself in the house and all that. You still gotta know what's going on around you. But even in the midst of knowing what's going on around you, you gotta have a place. You gotta have a garden that you can come home to. You gotta have an Eden that you can come home to. You gotta have a place of peace that you can come home to. And like I say, with all this craziness going on now, a man's going to need a place of peace that he can come home to. A man going to need a place where he can come on and lay his head and get some rest. A man going to need a place where he can come on and lay his head and know like he laying his head in a place of peace and he won't get Delilah. He got to know he can lay his head there after a rough day. And he know he's going to be loved. He know he's going to be some peace there. He knows there's going to be some joy there. He know it ain't her fault. Hey, I love that movie, Lady Bell, because hey, it sure enough tricked me. But hey, that man gonna need to know that he can come home in this love and this joy. And I hear him saying, well, what about her? She need to come home to a place of, hey, it's her house, it's her home, it's her garden, and she maintain it. She's gonna make sure there's peace there. I'm pretty sure. The average. Well, the guys I know, I don't know any hell raisers. I don't know any hell raisers. Most of the guys I know, they peaceful dudes. They loving dudes. They go to work every day. They come home every day. And I know, and I know you don't know what's happening to nobody. Nobody know. Hey, when me and Lady Bell pull in the garage and let the garage door down, nobody know what's going on behind closed door. That's everybody's house. That's everybody's house. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But husband, father, man, that's your job to make sure that. What you want to show me now, Lady Bell? See that? See, Lady Bell hit me with something. Girl, I'll be glad when you get back. I was saying, the man needs to come home and have a place of peace, a place of rest, a place of restoration. Lady Bell just hit me with Proverbs something. A wise woman builds her house. A wise woman builds her house. I hear somebody say, my mentor, Dr. Lewis Greenham Jr., he would always say, when men would talk to him about their wives, he would say, well, that's bone of your bone. That's flesh of your flesh. You married her. And the one thing that stuck to me is, he said, you asked her. You asked her. Initially, you asked her. She said yes. And now I say to people, when I say to guys, I said, when you asked her to marry you, what was you thinking? What was you thinking? Better yet, maybe I need to change that. Maybe I should say, what was you thinking with? Because sometimes we get caught up. We ain't thinking. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We ain't thinking. And then, you get bamboozled. You get led astray. You get ran amok. Lady, but I'll be glad when you get back, because there's so many things I want to talk about. I want to talk about, like say, those vibes. I definitely want to get into this. I'm itching to get into this one, Lady Bell, because we've been seeing so much on gray divorces and all of that. And you hear, and they saying 70-something% of these gray divorces after 25, 30, 35 years, women are filing for divorce. Women are initiate the divorce. I forbid you, I forbid you to do that. I forbid you. Come to me, talk to me. Pull my coattail. Don't just jump up. You hear these women talking about, I heard something crazy. The lady said, oh man, I think I posted that thing where the lady said, women are giving their lives. Women are giving everything. Women are doing this and women are doing that. Men are getting advantage of a marriage. In what marriage? And I hope I'm telling the truth, Lady Bell. I hope you feel the same way I feel when I say I feel in our marriage, we're both benefiting. No, and then I heard the lady say, she said, well, at the end of the day, or at the end of the marriage, you don't gave all yourself and you have got nothing. I'm like, wow, what kind of, you cook, you clean, you do this, you raise the kids, you do that. Who doing all of that? What man is allowing his wife to cook? Let's just say they both working. You're going to let this woman work, and then she going to come home. She got to cook. She got to clean. She got to raise the kids. She got to, and that was the biggest thing. They were saying that most of the women raise the kids, that a man just come home and pick up the remote. They said mostly the women are raising kids. But what man is going to let his wife go to work? Y'all both going to work, then she coming home and doing everything? She's coming home and doing everything. I don't think I know any marriages like that. Now I got friends who say they don't cook. But correct me if I'm wrong, Lady Bell. You can give a nod, a yes, or nod, a no. But I think, and this might be rare, the majority of our close friends, majority of them, men do most of the cooking. The majority of our close-knit friends, most of the men do. No, but Rob, CJ, mostly all the men, most of our closest friends, most of the men do most of the cooking. I ain't gonna say all the cooking. They do most of the cooking. That's even when we cook. We have become a generation that we're always on the go. We're eating out. We're doing that. Hey, the greatest story ever told was how we would go to the grocery store, buy $250, $300 worth of grocery, and then on the way home stop at McDonald's and buy dinner for everybody. Get home and order DoorDash after you just left the grocery store. That's so a lot of time people ain't even cooking. There is no in a marriage there is no more gender roles. But I want to talk about that, Lady Bell, about these women, people or relationships that falling into great divorce, because we're seeing a lot of that. And I want to talk about as transitioning, from your, especially me and Lady Bell are at retirement age now. Transition, because stuff like this, me and Lady Bell spend so much time in church, but older couples who we thought was mentoring us, all they was telling us was go to church and love God. They wasn't. Thank God that I married a woman that was wise enough to say, we got to prepare for retirement. We got to invest here and invest there. You can't. Tithes and offerings not a retirement plan. Heaven in the pearly gates is not a retirement plan. We got the ultimate retirement plan. Heaven, streets of gold, pearly gates, in a mansion. I think that a lot of us are really looking forward to that. We've been bamboozled. We've been led astray. We've been led amok. We've been hoodwinked. You waiting on a mansion and a gold, and you waiting on a mansion. You waiting on a mansion. So we got to talk about that later. And the other thing I want to talk about. We're talking into the vows. Till death do you part. I think the vows are great, but we've been having this conversation for the last 5 or 6 months, maybe last year, about as we said, we want to do that series on the vows. We're talking about until death do you part, and I think. I love the vows until it gets to that, and we're gonna break down who wrote these vows, because the vows aren't in the Bible. These vows, things that we go by, and people writing their own vows. But what we've been indoctrinated these vows, and we talked about how. I'm just gonna hit on that till death do you part. Don't necessarily mean a physical death. It don't necessarily. Maybe we can I think two people can still love each other, but the relationship came to an end. The relationship came to an end. The love might not be gone, but maybe the joy is dead. Maybe it don't have. I don't think it definitely mean a physical death, or maybe that's what we put it at a physical death, but maybe something else in the relationship had died, and now we can't go forward. So I want to get in that. But I want to get into that with you. And I know you got a set goal to come back, and we're gonna. Hey, but I want 26. I want 2026. I want us to be prepared. For 2026. But I think we got to continue to stay with our boots on the ground. Because like I've been saying, things are going to get tough. And in 2020, not just in 2020, because they say your gifts and calling are without repentance or this, and we, the anointing, whatever it is. But it's something about us. And no matter where we go, people are entrusting their relationship with us. They're entrusting their love with us. They're entrusting their story with us. We get caught up like, no, we on vacation. We not trying to do no marriage counseling. We not trying to do this. But because people, I don't know what it is, because they trust us. Quick little story. We was just in Carolina, and we met this young lady, and she literally sat there for 2.5 hours and told me and Vicky, consulted, and me and Vicky were all what was going on with her. And sometimes you just can't run from what's in you, Lady Bell. You can't run from it. So we gotta stay geared it up. We gotta keep our head up. We gotta keep fighting. We gotta keep pushing, because people are going to need people. People are going to need strong people. Don't you start. You told me one time, Lady Bell. Man, where was I going with this? when a couple of my mentors failed me, Lady Bell, and I was disappointed and hurt. And the point I was making about people are going to need people. You told me stay focused because don't you fail those guys that's looking up to you. People are going to need people. You know, I keep saying the church is where 2 or 3 are gathered together. Where 2 or 3 is gathered together. If somebody got to come to your house and get a meal, if somebody got to come to your house and get a prayer, if somebody got to come to your house and get a strength, the church is where 2 or 3 are gathered together. We can't no more depend on these Ephesus. Because when the rubber hits the road, Lady Bell, we're going to have to be there for some people. We got 43 days. We got to keep fighting. We got to stay strong. Because, and I've been saying this all year, and I know y'all heard me say it, it's about to get crazy out here. A rapper is a patriot now. A MAGA is a traitor. So you promise me you'll stay focused, Lady Bell. I'll stay focused. I need every man to get ready. You got 43 days left. After you done kicking it, after you done doing this, after you done watching the game, after you done, LeBron came back last night. I was so happy. LeBron came back at 23 years in the league, double off the egg. But after all of that, when the rubber hits the road, Lady Bell gonna look at me and say, okay, now since you done looking at the game, now since you done shouting, what's the plan? What is the plan, sir? What is the plan, man of the house? What is the plan, husband? What is the plan, father? Even if it is her fault, somehow it's going to be your fault. All her fault. 1 + 1 would always be 1. 2 is bigger, but it's always 1. 1 1,000, but 10. 2 10,000. Team Bell. We out.
Welcome to Marriage Bootcamp with Vicki and Robert Bell on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio.